Hello and welcome to another exclusive interview with me, Alex Belfield, here at Celebrity Radio, down in London today at the rehearsals of Rip It Up, and joining me is the brilliantly talented Aston Merrygold. You must be exhausted. I mean, the period before opening a show is always the most difficult, but it's sort of the hard work before the payoff of the showbiz, isn't it?
It is. This is the bit that, I mean, listen, the whole process and this industry is so enjoyable and it is amazing and I love it. Rehearsals is always the hardest part, but it's the build-up to the massive payoff to the show that is going to be incredible. Yeah.
Is it fun being you, Aston? I mean, when I look at you, not only are you, well, a nice bit of trouser for the ladies, you're hugely successful, you can dance, you can sing, you can move. It's going pretty well, really, in the grand scheme of things.
I suppose that's down to the parents, the upbringing. Now, do you know what? I just honestly, I enjoy it. I'm very, very lucky to be able to, I suppose, call what I do my job. Do you know what I mean? I get to sing and dance and entertain for a living, and it's just, yeah, it just so happens that I get to, you know, get paid for it and make a living off it at the same time, which is, yeah, it's incredible. It's a blessing, really, yeah.
I can't imagine what your eyes have seen. I mean, when we go back to the JLS days and the adulation and the reaction of the fans, I mean, nothing like it at such a young age as well. And then you move on from that to a show like this, Rip It Up, which almost is more hard work. There's only 3 of you, and you've really got to shine, haven't you?
Yeah, with this one, it's very much to the point of, you have to kind of raise the bar to the professional dancer level. Like, obviously, you know, being an artist as such, it's a bit like you do have professional backup dancers, and it's a bit like, you know, you've got your own style, but they're doing, I would say most of the time, more of the hard work behind you, do you know what I mean? As well as, obviously, you're trying to sing and sell the song. But in this show, yeah, you have to really try and step your A game up and, you know, blend amongst some absolutely incredible other artists, and it's testing, but I do get to sing in this show as well, which is nice, and I get, I suppose, I call it a breather. It's not a breather, but it's a bit like I don't have to be going full out 100% in a mad dance routine where I can kind of give my 100% in a sing song. So it's, yeah, it's an amazing thing to be a part of, but it's very, very challenging.
It seems to me unanimous that everybody agrees you're probably the best celeb dancer ever on Strictly, certainly in the top 3. That's quite a pressure. I guess, therefore, you've got to give it 100%, because we can't come out going, well, he wasn't really. It was a bit like Russell Grant.
Well, listen, technically, if you look at the history books as such, no one knows who I am. As far as I'm concerned, I went out week 7 or 8, whatever it was. So it's, you know, people's opinions are great, and I think it's, you know, when coming out of that show, it was, yeah, I could have took it a whole different way than I did. Looking back at it and looking what I've said, it's like I did actually love it and I had a great time, and it's, yeah, it's a shame, I think, and people obviously expressed that they didn't get to see more, but then that's the nature of this show. I think from when I went out, it was a bit like, oh, okay, we're going to try and keep as many of the, I suppose, higher level dancers in the competition, and they did, and it did happen from that week on, do you know what I mean? And it was something of, from what turned into an entertainment TV show turned into a dance competition. And there is always that point in these competitions. There is a shock exit, and there's a, you know, a bit of a wake-up call, I think, for people. And you know, I just had to be the sacrificial lamb, should I say.
I love the reputation of JLS. I mean, you boys kept it classy and wholesome, which is great, because it's easy to go down traps and be caught out. Was that always intentional, that you've reached out to sort of a family audience and kept it classy?
No, I mean, it wasn't intentional. I just think that's what myself and the boys were just like. Don't get me wrong, we were young, you know, adolescent boys and just, you know, growing up really and truly, like an early adult age. And it was like, you know, trying to learn, you know, from turning from a boy to a man, and obviously going through it, having, you know, the nation's eyes watching you a lot of the time. It is difficult. You do obviously come under peer pressure, but it was nice to be able to go through all that with best friends and be able to watch each other's back and have each other's back. And yeah, you know, I was the youngest. So I think I was probably the luckiest, you know, to have, you know, such a well-rounded family and great group of people around me, but then obviously at the same time have bandmates that, you know, were basically older brothers that looked out for me as well. So yeah, I suppose I would call myself the luckiest out of the 4 of us, because I did have, you know, 3 older brothers effectively.
And talking about brothers, you and Louis grew up together in Peterborough. Did you really know each other, or is this just fairy tale that sounds quite nice?
Honestly, like, honest to God, it's well, before we knew each other, our parents knew each other in Peterborough, and it's not the biggest place in the world, you know, it's a great city, but it's not the biggest place, and everyone kind of does know everyone, and yeah, it just so happens that our families knew each other, and, you know, when we were born, it was just kind of like, you just, we're going to Lewis. Okay, cool, we're going to Lewis's, and that's just what it was. It was growing up. We never knew that, I suppose, our paths would cross. Obviously, Lewis going into the sporting world and me going into the entertainment industry. It was never kind of destined to cross, but obviously he's made certain choices to come into the entertainment realm, and I've taken different routes within this industry. So it's nice to, I suppose, see a hometown face and someone that I've known for years and years kind of, being that successful and being able to kind of, enjoy this process with.
And I said earlier about being an inspiration. It's a tough time now. We read so much in the news, and the front page was about race and Strictly and all this stuff. I don't know whether you want to get into it, but I think it's important, isn't it, to be a role model and say, look, this is what you can achieve, whether you're from any place, any background, any race, any colour, any creed.
Listen, I think it's hard to, get sucked into certain situations, let's say, that aren't, the light isn't. It's also, doesn't show the best character of people. But in terms of what a lot of people have done going through this industry, it's amazing. I think you can make something of yourself. This industry now has been blown wide open with effectively YouTube and all the online platforms there are now. It's a bit like, if you do have a talent and you do have something you are passionate about, that can take you away from any type of distractions or trouble or whatever there is. I suppose it could be in your home surroundings or whatever you've grown up around. There's a big wide world out there now that can actually be accessible. So there's definitely a lot of role models, I think, within the industry now that are proving a lot of critics and a lot of the media wrong as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's actually from sitting here and being a new dad as well, and kind of going, do you know what? It's nice to know that my son's going to have great role models as well as myself, hopefully, to look up to and be able to go, here we go, I can be like, Stormzy or Lewis Hamilton or Tiny Temper or whoever. Do you know what I mean? It's just like whatever your background is and however people want to look and judge you. It's a bit like, well, facts are facts. Do you know what I mean? You're inspiring a whole new generation of people, and people are entertaining people from like I said, their living room, and being able to get out there and really make something of themselves. So I'm very grateful to be in, I suppose, this generation and see it all happening.
And very finally, on being a dad and having a family, I suppose all of this really pales into insignificance when you go home and those eyes and that cuddle. That's all that really matters.
Oh, mate, do you know what? I think it's the hardest thing for me to do is leave in the morning, and the best thing to do. Listen, I love my job, and it's the biggest blessing, and I count my lucky stars and all that. But to finish the day and go home and see that face, I'm just like, all good. Even if he's in bed, I just kind of lean over, tell him I love him, give him a kiss. I'm soppy like that now. That's me now. That's the life. Yeah.
Is it a bit unnerving though? You are responsible for it, and you have to teach it things.
Listen, it's at the end of the day. It's like one of my boys said, "You've got a little human," and I went, "Yeah, that's very different to going. I've got you got the new iPhone. Don't crack the screen." Listen, we're all careful in that sense. This is obviously it's very obvious, and I know I'm saying it. It's a whole different ball game, and it's like you cannot prepare yourself for something like this. It's just the love, the worry, everything. It's just, honestly unreal, and I'm just very lucky, very, very lucky.
Happiest place you've ever been in life, I guess?
Listen, happiest place, me waking up with my partner Sarah and little Grayson and just kind of being there and just having that family cuddle and chilling. That's the best time ever, honestly, yeah.
Congratulations. I respect you so much. Not only are you incredibly talented, but you're so disciplined and so good at what you do. We can't wait to see the tour of Rip It Up. And Aston, thank you very much for your time.
No, thank you very much. Pleasure.